Where do I even begin? Civilization VII is filled with many major flaws, all from simple diplomacy, removal of great people and builders, splitting the game into ages, and to a very sharp architecture. There are some few good things, but the massive amount of just shit things makes the game just bad. I have over 300 hours in Civ 6 and I have all the DLCs. I loved everything about it, and almost everything that was good in Civ 6 is either completely gone or altered a lot, or me and other Civ fans have had to learn the whole game again. First off, you probably know this by now, but you don't play as a single civilization throughout the whole game. At the start of the game, you will pick a leader and a civilization, then you will play between 150 to 200 turns, and then you go into a new age. You then must choose a new civilization, and then you must do all of that again for the next stage. I like this feature a bit, but I still preferred playing as one civilization throughout the game. The game does show which civilization works with your leader, and sometimes will say which one works best in your game. Most of this will be great if there is a lot of choice, which there isn't. Civ 7 launched with 21 leaders, 10 civs in the first stage, 11 in the second one, and 10 again in the last one. This is with the day 1 DLCs and pre-order bonuses. That's not a lot to choose between, and in age 2 and 3 you can't pick anyone you want. You need to have a certain criteria completed to be able to play it. It can be as easy as just playing a certain civ in the previous age, or you need to get the set amount of resources, or something completely else. But how does ages and all of this work? Each age has a set amount of years in them, and the player can speed it up by continuously doing the last tech or civic in their tree. The player also gets some extra rewards. During age you need to complete legacy paths. There are multiple legacy paths for different playstyles, and they give you rewards when you reach milestones. The age will also progress further by doing milestones. When the age is completed, you will get points depending on how many milestones you have completed and how many legacy paths you have completed. Then you can choose the perks to spend these points on. If you have completed the legacy path, you will get the option to select a golden age perk, and if you haven't gotten a single milestone completed in the legacy paths, you can choose a dark age perk. There are a lot of perks to choose from, where depending on which type of points you have, you will get perks and better perks. Some may cost more but give better rewards. Many of the perks you can choose gives you skill points. Skill points? Yes, you heard correctly. There are multiple skill trees. You have science, expansion, military, diplomatic, culture, and economic. Here you use your skill points to get some very good benefits, and some can change a lot while others barely help at all. Some big issues I and many others had with Civ 7 is how bare bones it is, and how little it tells you. In Civ 6, whenever another Civ wants to negotiate, you could exit it and check the map and look at stuff. That's completely gone in Civ 7. When you exit a negotiation, it gets automatically rejected, no matter what. Trading has now also been turned into a simple diplomatic action. Want to get more gold per turn from a civ? There is an action, and the value never changes, only when you go to new age. And you can't trade a resource for another, only gold for gold or food for food and stuff like that. You get the point. And every single diplomatic option uses the new resource called influence, which works like gold. In Civ 6 you could create a bunch of scouts and have them automatically scout the world. That's completely gone, with nothing to replace it. So when you have a ton of scouts, you need to micromanage and send them to wherever you want to. Quick combat and quick movement are also completely gone. So is faith resource and religion victory. Religion itself is very bare bones. Every single civ must create a religion no matter what. They can build or spend gold to create missionaries to spread out the religion. And you can pick some perks for your religion, but that's mostly it. I didn't even manage to find a way to completely remove a religion. And just faith as a currency is gone altogether. Religion gives benefits, but also gives very heavy downsides when another civ's religion is the majority in the settlement you own. But thankfully, you can fix it by sending new missionaries, since religion can't be completely removed from the game. since it will always be the majority in your capital no matter what. In the modern age, religion gets completely removed and you can't expand it, remove it or change it. It's there and nothing more. Even the religion tab itself is gone. But let's say you don't mind these issues, then you would think the game is very good. Not entirely. The game punishes you at all time, just as ever with religion. War awareness is a big issue currently and makes warmongering almost impossible and war itself just very challenging. I ended up going to war with my neighboring Civ and I managed to do very well. Then another allied with them and joined the war. Then I started to notice it got very hard winning any fights. I suddenly didn't have any gold, influence or any happiness at all in my cities. During the war I've gotten a lot of war awareness, and in Civ 7 you lose happiness, gold, influence, income, your units do less damage and take more damage with war awareness. So imagine what happens when you have maxed out war awareness. Now you're probably thinking, just don't get it maxed out. Let me tell you why it's hard to not have a war awareness low in war. You get awareness for winning a lot, from taking over cities or towns and when you race one. You're probably why would racing a settlement even be a good thing to do? If you played 6 with DLC, you probably say because you don't want rebellion. That's wrong, there's no rebellion in Civ 7, but there is a settlement limit, and it's very low. So you can't take over every settlement you take. You can increase the amount of settlement you have, but not by so much, it will fix the issue. But at least you raise a settlement, get awareness, lose income and military strength, forced to end the war, struggle to get back, start a new war, and it goes around. All of this just makes war a struggle. Civ 7 has at least one new feature that makes war somewhat better: commanders. In Civ 6 you could level up all your troops and merge. Now that leveling is moved over to the commander, and units can't merge anymore. You have land commanders, navy commanders and air commanders. Each commander can have 4 units in it. With that I mean you can put 4 army units in one tile and they can move around as a group. And you can deploy your units to make a fast attack. The commander also gives bonuses to nearby units. The bonuses and the radius can be upgraded. You can also upgrade the commander so we can have 6 army units instead of 4. Nukes have been a thing in every Civ game and having a nuclear guarantee too. In Civ 7 you get the ability to create nukes after you created a wonder, Manhattan Project. So, as you probably know by now, only one player can have a wonder, and that makes it so that only one player can be able to build nukes. And on top of that, the only way to get the wonder is by completing the military legacy path in the modern age, which you only get from doing good in multiple wars or a very big war. So the best warmonger gets the option to go even more crazy, and there is no nuclear gunner in Civ 7 since Gandhi isn't even in Civ 7 or any of the DLCs that we know of. UI itself has some big problems. It feels like it was built for console, all from a very simple UI that tells as least as possible. It's huge, takes up way too much of the screen. In Civ 6 you could choose to always have the stats of the other Civ on the screen under the logo. This is in Civ 7, but it doesn't work all the time. It takes up even more of the screen, and it turns itself off again and is missing stuff from Civ 6, like not being able to see other Civ's military strength. Civ 7 also struggles a lot with graphics and performance. In a lot of the cases, Civ 7 looks worse than Civ 6 and gets half of the FPS at least. All the leaders look very bad, all from weird shadows to leaders having very low detailed textures and just low details on itself, while it looks like it's supposed to have a very high amount of detail. In Civ 6 did it very good with having a goofier art style. Civ 7 tries to do a more realistic art style, but it's still back in the cartoony art style. The result is something that looks just weird. And when you start the game, you choose map types and size. The map types are almost identical, and when the map expands, it's just the same thing, but now for some reason there's a land border, like a land line. It makes no sense, and the largest size is medium. so the map is small and you barely have any choice in map choice, yeah. And only having 5 map types is not much at all, and they don't do anything. And when the map expands, it also adds more civs to the game, so you start off with a few civs, then it doubles, like 200 turns in the game. Another issue I have with Civ 7 is the very short tech tree this time. In each age there's a tech tree and civic tree, but the problem is that all these ages feel dragged out and you barely advance, and when you move over to the next age, the technology jumps a lot forward in time. In the modern age, you start with researching the steam engines and end with the moon landing. Yeah, you heard correctly. It ends with the moon landing, so there's nothing more after that, and I mean nothing. And I'm willing to bet the money that in the future we will see a new age sold as DLC. So yeah, I would strongly say that I don't recommend Sid Meier's Civilization VII. There are good parts, yes, but the number of things missing, broken stuff, and things that makes the game unnecessarily hard just makes the game frustrating or okay at the best. There is a chance Civ 7 will become better in the future, but that is in the future. Currently the game is bad and overpriced. It's better to just go and buy Civ 6. It has more content, it works, it performs well, and it's a generally good game, and on sale it's less than 1/10 of the price of Civ 7. I hope you enjoyed this review. Please leave a like and subscribe, and please comment if you have any feedback or anything you want to say, or if you have any recommendations for what I should review next. But that's it for me today. Have a nice day.